This is a Saturday morning TV log from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome to another Saturday morning TV log, and this time around it's Masked Rider, brought to us by Saban. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm the Big D, and this is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So this week's Saturday morning TV log is on an extremely underrated show from the mid-90s. It's none other than Masked Rider itself, produced by the folks at Saban, along with Renaissance Atlantic Films, Toei Company Limited, and Bug Boy Productions. Created by the Toei Company, along with Ham Saban and Shuki Levy, the series originally, premiered on the Fox network in September 1995. The series is an American adaptation of the Japanese television series Kamen Rider Black RX from 1988. Now then, the series originally started out as a backdoor pilot in the first 3 episodes of the third season of the studio's big hit of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, of course, in the opening narration, which was given by Michael McConaughey, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is how it goes. On a distant and embattled planet called Illinois, a young prince named Dex is given great powers by his grandfather, the king, and is sent to the planet Earth to protect it from the advanced and evil Count Dragon and his vicious insectivores. Once on Earth, he is adopted by a kind family and learns to live as a human. With his companion Verbus by his side, Dex is ever vigilant, ready at a moment's notice to call on his powers to become Masked Rider. That's the opening narration, because I knew that by heart, since I did see this show when it originally aired. Now, the series began with Prince Dex escaping the Plague Patrol with a small group of Eonite rebels. And Dex heads for Earth, which is the next target of his uncle, the cruel and sinister Count Dragon, who ruled Illinois when Iron Fist after displacing Dex's grandfather, King Lexian. Lexian had given Dex the Masked Rider powers. Where the powers came from is a mystery, although they had been kept for some time by Illinois' champions, which Dragon desires for himself. Arriving on Earth in a massive crater, Dex finds himself in the care of the Stewarts, a multiracial family consisting of a white father and adopted daughter, an Asian wife, and their adopted African American son. The patriarch is Hal and his daughter Molly, plus his Asian wife Barbara and their adopted African American son Albie. I would forgot to say I want to rephrase that. Thank you. Now, the addition of an extra steward was not noticed by anyone, although according to Albie, he and Molly are adopted in Leewood, the town where the series took place in. Dex defends the town as Masked Rider from Count Dragon and his vicious insectivores. Illinois was featured in Power Rangers as the planet where Alpha 5 was created by Lexian, the Eonite's leader. Although the continuity between the series and Masked Rider is unclear based on the differences in the origin story Dex tells the Rangers compared to what is shown in the actual series. Dex is dispatched to Earth by his grandfather to keep Dragon from taking over it. The scene in which Dex is given his powers by King Lexian is a scene that differs from the televised version, remains in the title sequence, possibly one of the few remaining aspects of the original pilot. Dex's Masked Rider armor was also eventually given upgrades to change into Masked Rider Super Gold, which was a gold and black variation equipped with a powerful laser gun, the Ecto Ray, and then later Masked Rider Super Blue, a blue, red, and gray variation with the power of liquefied teleportation and a powerful sword, the Blue Saber. Eonoids Yeah, that's how I say it. Sorry. Are descended from insects instead of apes. Dex is not aware that humans did not evolve from insects, as he discovered in the episode Pet Nappers, where he reports about how humans evolved from insects. Edenoids also possess telepathic abilities that are focused through a gem on their foreheads called mind crystals, which can be hidden telepathically, though in times of stress can become visible. The gem is capable of focusing mental energy as well as creating mental imagery that can be shared with others. Dex possesses the knowledge needed to detoxify Leewood's rivers using solar powered lasers. Now, Dex had a furry friend named Furbus, which was a small bear duck like creature that followed him to Earth. Well, he was kept hidden by Molly and Albie because Hal was allergic to fur. And eventually, later on, he's revealed to the entire family during the series. Dex is a loquacious individual. In the first episode, Molly and Albie told him to speak like a regular person and that he could learn how to do that by watching TV. Sadly, Dex misunderstood and spoke what words he heard in the way that he heard them, as a matter of fact. Now, in each week, Dex has, and his adopted family go through all sorts of fun-filled misadventures and what have you. Until Yeah, it kind of feels like misadventures because the show, unlike Power Rangers or VR Troopers, which that was still on syndication at the time, had more of a good feel to it. But mostly Masked Rider has a sitcom-esque type feel to it in some ways. Now, like both the two series I mentioned, Masked Rider's battle and villain scenes, with a few exceptions, were taken from Japanese stock footage, primarily Kamen Rider Black RX, but also two Japanese Kamen Rider movies, Kamen Rider Zeo and Kamen Rider J. Now, Robo Rider in the episode Super Gold, which was a two-parter, I believe. No, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I think that was a wrong. Please stand by. Okay, apologies. Yes, I was correct. Super Gold was a two-part story, and just like the first two episodes, which was Escape from Illinois, as well as the first form of the Hydra sect in the episode Stranger from the North, were the only two of Dragon's insectivores to appear in American footage throughout the show's run. Well, in 2010, the copyright for the series was transferred from BBS Entertainment and ABC Children's Entertainment to Saban Capital Group, whereas the series is now currently under rights with Hasbro. But anyway, now this show unfortunately didn't do so hot. After its first 20 episodes, the show later was sent to syndication for a second season, but where it had 20 more episodes, but still, yeah. It only ran for lesser episodes than what Power Rangers or VR Troopers would run in total. Now, when it was sent to syndication in 1996, that was from when Saban had an extremely busy year when they had Power Rangers Zeo come to Fox, and they had new episodes of Sweet Valley High ready for syndication, and a whole ton of other things. They had Bureau of Alien Detectors and The Mouse and the Monster on UPN Kids, and a ton of stuff for syndication to go with new episodes of this series, which include The Adventures of Oliver Twist, The YY Family, which of course I recently did a Saturday Morning TVLog of that not so long ago last month, as well as English dubs of the hits Dragon Ball Z and Samurai Pizza Cats, which actually some footage from that series would actually be seen on the TV in a few episodes. The reception, well, yeah. The former president of Bandai stated that the series was a commercial flop in the US and said that sales of the toys which they presented were low as well. After that, series was never seen again. It was never even seen, not even on Fox Family or ABC Family pre-freeform, nor would it be seen on Disney X. Not no wait on the Disney channels that had the Power Rangers series, which of course soon later went to Nickelodeon. But however, and unfortunately, the show is not on physical media on DVD. It did, however, get released on VO cassette with the two-part Escape from Illinois and two-part Super Gold. So anyway, yeah. So this kind of remains lost in the in the works of Saban, but in ways. But however, there is a way you can see the series. There is an unofficial, I'd say it's unofficial, Saban's Masked Rider YouTube channel, which you can find all 40 episodes. But however, they are in no particular order in some ways, not counting the two-part stories I mentioned, where the last episode to be shown was episode number 38, which was originally intended to be the series finale. Yeah. Now then, it still had pretty good sim music composed by Shuki Levy and others. A fun fact, some of the music played at the end for, well, whenever we see Furbus, would actually later be used for the Saban logo in the 1996. You know, that dun 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 dun. Well, I'm kind of close to that. Now, let's see. Now, for our cast, we have playing Prince Dex and Masked Rider is the late great Ted Jam Roberts, who unfortunately we didn't know much about um, his passing until this past summer when a redditor discovered a Facebook post made last year by his dad, Richard G. Ortega, mourning his death on June 6, 2022. At at the time of the Reddit post, well he was erroneously listed as a stunt performer for a recent movie, where IMDb cast it down to the news. And then a month later, one of the fellow cast members confirmed Robert's death, Libby Letlow, who I'll get to in a moment. But however, to this day, Ortega refused to disclose the cause of death, so we don't really know how he died, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it. So apparently, yeah, he was only 42 years old. Boy, that's very tragic and what have you. You know what I'm saying? Or actually, that's a few months later, that same year, we actually lost Jason David Frank, aka Tommy from Power Rangers, at the age of 49. Boy, things look bad, and what have you. Know what I'm saying? Okay, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but anyway. Now, in Illinois' royal family, the powers of the Masked Rider are passed down from generation to generation. As the current Masked Rider Dex, well, has many capabilities that Earthlings do not possess, like the crystal, the mind crystal, um, which he can use to transmit his thoughts to others, use it to scan an X-ray and sense nearby danger. He also has superhuman strength, super speed, lightweight generation, and telekinetic abilities. While trying to blend in, he appears unusual to everyone else. In order to transform to Masked Rider, he shouts out the phrase, "Activate! Activate!" And yeah, that is really awesome. Now, portraying the character of Furbus, he's voiced by Paul Pistor, while portrayed in costume by the late great Vern Troyer before he played Mini-Me in the Austin Powers sequels. Now, he serves as the ultimate comic relief of this show, and I must say, I really like him. He has a big appetite and can sometimes get into trouble at times. Fortunately, Dex manages to bail him out at the right moment. Now, the puppet of this was created by the Kyoto brothers, who also had recently done stuff for movies, including Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Critters, Aren't Scared Stupid, as well as lots of other things. Elf, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, Team America, World Police, lots of other things. But anyway, he's pretty funny. Playing Hal Stewart is David Stenstrom, who most people would probably remember him as the crazy inventor Waldo from Nickelodeon's Out of Control. Now, of course, Hal, of course, was also an inventor. Now, of course, later on, after the first season, he would later go on to voice King Mondo on Power Rangers Zeo, as well as voice several other characters in Power Rangers. Now, I will say he's also a handyman, and I've got to say he's a pretty good guy. Playing Barbara is Candice Kitta. Well, although she was credited as Candice Camille Bender, she's a caterer and part-time as a housemaker. She keeps an eye on the family's well-being, constantly has Hal stick to his diet and what have you. Really something. She's a great character. Playing Molly is Rhiannon J. Slover. Now, she always tries to steer Dex in the right direction and help him adjust to life on Earth. And since his arrival, the two develop a strong sibling relationship. Dex, in turn, always supports Molly to the best of his ability. Mm-hmm. And playing Albie is Ashton McGarn II. Now, he looks up to Dex with enthusiasm, as any little brother would. He tries to help Dex get accustomed to Earth by encouraging him to watch a great deal of television. Of course, his help can sometimes lead to Dex acting strange in public and what have you. Please stand by. Next, we have Ken Ring taking on the role of Count Dragon. According to sources, well, in the Power Rangers Season 3 beginning episode, which was the backdoor pilot to the series, A Friend in Need, it said that Dragon was an old rival to the Power Rangers arch nemesis, the Lord Zed. He's the youngest son of King Lexian and younger brother of one of Dex's parents, who I forgot to mention they somehow vanished, but anyway, leaving Dex an orphan, but now in care of King Lexian until he was sent to Earth. Yes, and he wears a gold mask to hide his scars he sustained in a duel with Lexian. And he's one mean dude. Then there's, of course, Jennifer Tongue playing the second in command to Dragon, Nefaria, a human-looking female in black and red armor. She uses the yellow feather on her helmet as a weapon or to write messages. She hardly goes into battle and is often seen on Earth giving commands. Yeah. There's also others and what have you, including Cyclopter, a blue one-eyed robot biker in a leather jacket and slacks, voiced by Steve Kramer. Double Face, voiced by Michael Sorich. A tall man dressed in a blue-green naval coat and white tights. His distinct feature is that he has two faces. His primary face is the large red visor on his helmet and the tiny face on his forehead. Then we have Gork, voiced by Michael McConaughey, who of course does the narration for the intro and previews. He's a small, unusual creature that speaks in rhyme and constantly hopes about and annoying everyone else, especially Doubleface, on Dragon's Spider Base. In fact, voiced by Julie Madalena, a small robot that gives out statistical data, calculations, probabilities concerning a plan before Count Dragon makes a final decision. There was lots of others, including what would be considered to be the kind of foot soldiers plays and scugs like they are to the others, like to those that actually you probably know of, the maggots, tall humanoid maggots that serve as the foot soldiers to Dragon. Yeah, and they were also created by the Kyoto brothers. There would be lots of others. Now, for other characters, we have Ralph Voltrian playing King Lexian. And then, of course, there's the two vehicles that Masked Rider pilots. Magno, the talking car, who is red Is a red car modeled after an ant-like bug. She's capable of driving at high speeds and digging underground. She's voiced by Wendy Lee, who has actually done, wow, lots of things, including working on a later series that Saban would do, which was Digimon, Digital Monsters. Which, a fun fact, that series actually borrowed some of the music from the series. Now, she currently still does do voicing and other things to this day. Next, we have the Combat Chopper, who is wisecracking, and he's a motorbike model after a grasshopper. Now, according to the two-part episode of the beginning, Escape from Illinois, he can go at a higher speed than that of Magno. He can also, how Mag, unlike Magno, he can also change into two other variations depending on if Masked Rider uses Super Gold form as Super Chopper or Super Blue as Ultra Chopper. He's voiced by Jason Narvi, who, of course, you may know him as Eugene Skulovich of Power Rangers fame. Yes, you probably wouldn't even notice that it's him. Yeah. There's also Principal Henry Commerce, played by Don Gannon. Yeah, who's kind of barging on anything that gets in the way. But yeah, so some of these characters aren't too bad. But oh yeah, and there's Moon Dude, the owner of the arcade that Dex, Molly, and Albie hang out at, played by Tom Ayers. I think that's great. But then of course we do have the bulk and skull of the series, but they're not factually a bulk and skull. They're just one's a nosy neighbor and her, well, unwitting partner. That's Snoopy Child is Patsy Carbuncle, played by the gal who I just mentioned a while ago. We'll mention about the death of T.J. Roberts, Libby Letlow, a spoiled child that thinks the world should revolve around her. Well, she always lies to further enhance her reputation as the most popular girl at Leewood to anyone. And she's consenting towards the Stewarts and thinks that all will, and especially often rivals with Molly. But does have a soft spot for Dix and occasionally tries to flirt with him. Yeah, she even gives Masked Rider a hug, even. Then there's her unwitting partner and friend, Herbie, played by Matthew Bates. He's a stereotypical geek. Yeah, kind of much more of a geek than Percy on VR Troopers. Although he's friends with the brightest girl in Leewood, he's still nice, albeit cowardly guy and a pretty experienced dirt biker. But anyway, so you got to admit the series has a very good cast and what have you. So I have to say, Masked Rider is easily one of the most underrated series. I wish this could have kept going, but due to its, well, I think you get what I'm saying. Its ratings, it just improved great and what have you. But it would, however, manage to try again syndication, but eventually blew it. There wouldn't be much of a Kamen Rider series until like over a decade later after this series ended when the CW aired Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, which of course was a much more different show, but I thought the show was pretty cool though. But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the series of the Saturday Morning TVLog. I'm sure you know what the cast looks like, but it's hard to find some pictures of them though separately. I'm sorry to say, but there is one thing I could show you. Please stand by. Here's a shot of what Masked Rider's actual armor looks like, and plus the Super Gold and Super Blue suits. There. So now you know about Masked Rider. Do you think they should have tried again and what have you? I think it should have. I know someone who might know. But anyway, that's going to do it for this Saturday Morning TVLog. Did you ever watch Masked Rider? If so, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. And stay tuned. Later tonight will be a review of Universal Soldier, which will be presented after a special 1,000 subscribers live stream, which will be coming up probably about maybe about sometime maybe about close to 8 o'clock tops. Stay tuned and you'll see when it comes, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, check out the TV logs for this show's predecessor. Well, one of them anyway, is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the upper left hand corner. The upper right hand corner is the TV log I did on VR Troopers last year. Or if you would like maybe be to you'd like to see something very fun, see do you remember episode I did on Out of Control in the bottom left hand corner? And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TV log. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TV log is Journey to the Center of the Earth. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya and rest in peace, TJ Roberts. Bye now.